Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are fine. Those who have interest in astrology, they'll be enjoying the amazing content, the practical based content on Vedic astrology. And each and every podcast will be different. It will be relevant. It will be concrete. It will be to the point. There will nothing be like storytelling at all. So till now we have reached, results of Ketu in fifth house. Now it is a podcast about Ketu in sixth house. So as you know, the sixth house is the house of diseases. It's house of disputes and litigations. It's house of uh, enemies as well. And medically, it's house of large intestine, and it's house of you know kidneys as well. So these are the major significations of sixth house. Now, dealing with the effect of Ketu in sixth house in case of Aries ascendant chart, or in case of Aries ascendant native, we have to look the strength of Mars firstly, and whether uh, ascendant lord is strong or not, because that determines that if your ascendant lord is utterly strong in the chart, you will be able to meet the challenges and to face the challenges in the life. Now, Ketu is a planet, as I have reiterated, that it is the planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything benefic from Ketu Mahadasha or Ketu Andardasha. It's a blind planet, headless, isn't it? Just a tail, dragon's tail and dragon's head. That's Rahu. And within the head there are eyes. Within the head there are ears. Within the head there is mouth also. But when it's headless, Ketu is it's headless. It's a tail, dragon's tail. It has neither eyes, it has neither ears, it has neither nose, it has neither mouth, nothing. So it's blind. So under this logic, when Ketu is placed especially in malefic houses, in sixth house, in eighth house, and in 12th house, it attains the signification. In other words, we can say that it absorbs the significations of these malefic houses. If any benefic planet is placed in malefic houses, for example, in case of Aries ascendant, if Jupiter is placed in sixth house, what will happen? Nothing will happen. It may happen that the native will get in disputes with the father. The native will get disputes if he moves to abroad, isn't it? He will face litigations abroad. These are the but that has proper remedies. If Jupiter is placed in sixth house, and Jupiter is a benefic planet, is one of the amazing planets for Aries ascendant. If Jupiter is placed in sixth house, and you will wear yellow sapphire, isn't it? Your Jupiter alone is placed in, there is no conjunction with Ketu at all. Jupiter is alone placed in the sixth house, let us suppose, and an Aries ascendant native, he wears yellow sapphire. What will happen? All will be positive. Now Jupiter is placed in the sixth house. In that case, what will happen? That Jupiter, will strengthen the ninth house, and Jupiter will strengthen the 12th house. So, in other words, it will strengthen the significations. It will strengthen the significations of ninth house. It will strengthen the significations of 12th house as well, and it will also strengthen the significations. It will revive the significations, general significations of Jupiter. And being placed in the sixth house, it will give positive effect, it will give positive resultant to sixth house, but it won't absorb the negative traits of sixth house in that case. Why? Because Jupiter is a benefic planet, isn't it? Now Ketu is a malefic planet, and it is a blind planet. It does not have any head at all. Neither it can listen, neither it can see, neither it can smell, nothing. So Ketu absorbs the significance of sixth house. In case you start wearing cat's eye, in this case, when Ketu is placed in sixth house, what will you do? You will face worst in your life. So it's suggested, never wear cat's eye when your Ketu is placed in sixth house of the Lagna chart. So never do such a thing. Now Ketu will create problems in Aries ascendant chart. It will create problems if it afflicts its place, its house of placement. If it gives affliction to the sixth house, and from sixth house it will give affliction to the 10th house, then by ninth aspect, by seventh aspect it will give affliction to the 12th house, then by ninth aspect it will give affliction to the second house. So it will, in case Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the chart, it will afflict sixth house, and um, also it will afflict itself, isn't it? Maybe you won't be able to understand this point, but it will afflict itself. Ketu afflict sixth house, but Ketu itself is placed in sixth house. So Ketu is itself placed in the afflicted house. So this is the main thing that most of the people, even astrologers, are not able to understand. So this is the way how to deal with these things. Now if Ketu afflicts its house of placement, it will afflict the sixth house, it will afflict 10th house, it will afflict 12th house and second house. And now what will be the results? As I said, that Ketu will absorb the negative significations, it will suck the significations of the sixth house. So what will it will cause serious health issues, because it is the house of diseases. It will cause serious health issues, health problems relating to kidney and large intestine. But if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, because general karak of kidneys is Venus, the problem to kidneys will not be to such an extent. If Mercury, it is a lord of sixth house in this case, if Mercury is strong in the case, in the chart, it will protect the significations, it will protect the significations of sixth house, it will safeguard the significations of the sixth house in that case, isn't it? Also, if Saturn is also strong in the chart, the general significator of large intestine, that will also protect the significations of sixth house in that case. So if Ketu closely afflicts the sixth house in such a case, but Mercury and Saturn are strong, the health issues won't be to such an extent. And it also causes losses through theft. It leads to cheating and fire, causes disputes related to one's professional business ventures, causes problems with, you know, and causes problems with respect to financial losses, isn't it? And heavy expenses on health. And it also causes financial losses, because from there will be disputes in the with regard to the accumulation of wealth, because it aspects the second house as well, it aspects 12th house, so there will be expenses, there will be enemies as well. So these are the major major effects that will be there in case of Aries ascendant when Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the sixth house. But I will repeat, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, if Mars is utterly strong in the chart, and if Saturn is also strong in the chart, if Venus is also strong in the chart, so under these conditions Ketu won't be able to destroy the significations of the aspected houses, that's 10th, 12th and second house, isn't it? So the general significator is Jupiter, also is general significator of many of houses, for example ninth house as well. So whereas 10th house general significator is Saturn, isn't it? So whereas 12th house is concerned, the general significator of 12th house is Moon. If Moon is strong, the significations of 12th house won't get disturbed to such an extent. The general significator of second house is Venus. If Venus is utterly strong in the chart, the significations of second house won't get disturbed to such an extent, isn't it? So do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon necessarily. If you are enjoying this content freely, do subscribe the channel freely. This is a simple logic. So this is all about Ketu placed in sixth house in case of Aries ascendant. And what to do now: never use cat's eye when Ketu is placed in sixth house or 12th house or 8th house. Never ever use cat's eye, because astrologer will recommend, he'll say that there's Mahadasha and Antardasha of Ketu, but you will suffer as a native, suffer at the last, it's the native who suffers the worst. It's not the astrologer who suffers. Astrologers hardly see what will happen to the native or what will not happen. They don't care about it. They just say this balle balle and nothing, and it does not have any relevance with respect to the chart. Antardasha, Mahadasha, this is one side of the coin, but the other side is that what is the placement of Ketu in the chart and what role it will play, isn't it? So this is all about Aries ascendant with Ketu in sixth house. uh, subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified of the for the upcoming videos like this. Now we come to the Taurus ascendant. Mars is malefic planet for this, so Ketu will create problem to the great extent in case of Taurus ascendant. And usually these are this is the ascendant which faces uh, unique disturbances from the transit. It's prone to transit afflictions extremely from among the 12 zodiac signs, from among the 12 ascendants. Now Ketu placed in, as I said, that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. It won't be it won't give anything benefit to any of the ascendant. It's of general malefic nature. Now when Ketu afflicts its house of placement, it afflicts itself because it's if itself placed in the afflicted house, and when the affliction is more than 50%, it becomes a cause of concern for the native. Now as I said that Ketu does not give any result to this to any ascendant. Now in seventh house, what will happen? It from seventh house, if it afflicts its house of placement, it will aspect 10th house, 12th house, and second house of Taurus ascendant. And in this case there will be issues with respect to career, there will be issues with respect to expenses and losses, there will be issues with respect to the accumulation of wealth. Now if it afflicts its house of placement in the sixth house, it will cause serious health problems, because sixth house is the house of diseases. And as I said that when Ketu is placed in sixth house in malefic houses, it absorbs the significations, it activates the significations of the malefic houses. So when Ketu is placed in the sixth house, it will activate the signification, it will absorb, so it will act as the lord of sixth house, in other words. So it will act as the lord of, it will absorb the significations, all the significations, all the negative significations of sixth house. So it will act as the lord of sixth house in this case, because it is a blind planet without head, isn't it, just a tail. So it will happen that it will lead to problems regarding health, relating to kidney and intestines, causes losses through theft, cheating, and fire, causes disputes relating to one's professional and business ventures, causes problems with respect to litigations and disputes, and causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. So these are the major problems that one will face. One is also expected to face issues with mother-in-law, to face issues with maternal uncle, isn't it, to face issues in case of mental peace as well. Mental peace will be disturbed if moon is utterly weak in the chart. And if moon is strong in the chart, if Saturn is strong in the chart, if Venus is strong in the chart, the significations of the houses aspected by Ketu, that will get safeguarded to the great extent. But if it's not so, if Saturn is utterly weak, if Venus is utterly weak, if moon is utterly weak, the significations of 10th house, 12th house, and second house, that won't get safeguarded, and the native has to face challenge with respect to the affliction from Ketu. Under such circumstances, what you can do, you can't remove Ketu from your sixth house. What you can do, you can do the charities and do the remedies for Ketu in order to remove the influence of Ketu from your chart. So these remedies need to be consistent. So more often we say that we have used yellow sapphire, we have used diamond as a Taurus ascendant. What will diamond do? Nothing. Diamond will do nothing, because it's not the lord of second house, isn't it? It's not the lord of second house. Where is the lord of second house? That's a mystery, rather, in case of Taurus ascendant, isn't it? So you are using diamond. Most of the Taurians, they get disturbed by wearing diamond. Most of the Taurians, they themselves don't know, and astrologers, mighty astrologers, they you just recommend them diamond, but they get disturbed. They get extremely. Most of the Taurians, they face disputes and litigations after wearing diamond. They don't face mental peace at all. And most of them I have seen practically, they remove diamond. They don't use diamond at all. So this is a astrology, this is a practical approach of astrology. And if Saturn is not strong, if Saturn is utterly weak in the chart and Ketu afflicts the chart, gives afflictions in the chart, there will be careers, there will be disputes with respect to professional area, there will be issues with respect to career as well. So these are the main things that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in uh, sixth house in case of Taurus ascendant chart. Now let us move to Gemini. Gemini, one of the ascendants for which Ketu is considered to be the most malefic planet. Yeah, it's the reality, and in practice it's quite visible on practical grounds that it is the most malefic planet for Gemini. Now Ketu placed in, as I said, Ketu is the planet of general malefic nature. It does not give any benefic result to any of the native. Now if Ketu is placed in the malefic houses, it absorbs and it activates the significations, negative significations of the malefic houses. Although sixth house has positive significations as well. When sixth house lord is strong, it means you will enjoy good health. When sixth house lord is very strong, it means that you will not have any litigations. When sixth house lord is very strong, it means that you won't have issues with respect to large intestine and kidneys as well, isn't it? So this occupies an important place. All the malefic houses should be strong, their lord should be strong, isn't it? So when Ketu is placed in malefic houses, it activates the negative significations of such houses. It absorbs the negative significations of of these houses, and it acts as the lord of malefic house. So when you activate Ketu by wearing cat's eye, what will happen? It will activate malefic significations of these houses, and you will face worst in life. You won't see anything positive in the life. So it's suggested, that's why it's suggested when Ketu is placed. And in case of Gemini, it's the deadly planet. In case of Gemini, though, you can never use it, whether it's placed in second house, whether it's placed in Kendra houses, wherever it's placed in the chart apart from malefic. So far as Gemini is concerned, you can never use cat's eye gemstone, never ever. Although you like it, for example, maybe, but you can't you can't wear it. It's not that case. Now when Ketu is placed in sixth house, what will it do? It will activate the significations, negative significations of the sixth house. It will cause serious health problems relating to kidney and intestine, causes losses through theft, cheating and fire, and causes disputes relating to one's professional business ventures as well, causes problems with respect to litigations and disputes, and causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. Now if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, there will be no issues with respect to kidney. If Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, there will be no issues with respect to large intestine. If Moon is utterly strong in the chart, there will be no issues with respect to expenses, isn't it? There will be no issues with respect to sleep at all. And if Moon is utterly strong in the chart, there will be no issues with respect to career, and there will be no issues with respect to the finance of the person, finance of the native. But if the affliction of Ketu, usually I repeat that if it's more than 50%, it becomes a cause of concern. So it needs to be remedied. There needs to be a proper remedy in order to remove. You can't remove Ketu from your sixth house, but what you can do, you can remove the malefic influence of Ketu. That is the scope of astrology that we need to focus on, isn't it? So these are the major things that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in sixth house in case of Gemini ascendant. And Sun should be also strong. If Sun is also strong, then health will be normal. He will have smooth health apart from application to the sixth house. But if Sun is strong, if Mercury is strong, so this will lead to the normalcy of health of the person despite the affliction of Ketu in the sixth house. So these are the main things that Gemini ascendant needs to take care of while dealing with affliction of Ketu in the sixth house and the houses aspected 10th, 12th and second house. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming such videos. You will enjoy the content because it is to the point, concrete and practical. Now it is the Cancer ascendant chart. So Cancer ascendant chart, moons needs to be strong because ascendant lord being utterly strong, it will mean that the native will be able to face all the challenges of life smoothly. He will be able to face the challenge of to defend the challenge of life smoothly if the ascendant lord is strong. Now if Ketu is placed in sixth house, as I said, when Ketu is a planet of Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature, it won't give anything benefic. You will expect that it will give benefit. No, that is mere an illusion, nothing else. Now if Ketu is placed in sixth house, it will absorb and it will activate the negative significations of sixth house. So it will, if you wear cat's eye in this case, it will involve you in disputes, it will involve you in thefts, you will get disturbances in life, nothing positive. So it's recommended never ever use cat's eye when Ketu is placed in sixth house. Now if what will happen if Ketu gives affliction that's more than 50% and it afflicts sixth house, and from sixth house it afflicts 10th house, 12th house, and second house as well. So there will be issues with respect to the significations of the houses aspected. Now if Ketu is placed in sixth house, and when Ketu is placed in sixth house and it afflicts its house of placement, what problems it will do? It will cause serious health problems relating to uh, kidney and intestine, causes loss through theft, cheating, and fire, causes disputes relating to one's professional business ventures, causes problems with respect to litigations and disputes, and causes financial losses and heavy expense on health. So if but if Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, there will be the problem faced from the sixth house, the significations of the sixth house will get protected. If Mars is utterly strong in the chart, the significations of 10th house will get protected. If Moon is utterly strong in the chart, the significations of the 10th house to 12th house will get protected, will get safeguarded. Why? Because Moon is the general significator of 12th house, isn't it? If Sun is utterly strong in the chart, there will be less issues with respect to the finance of the native. So these are the major issues, these are the major points that need to be taken care of while dealing with Ketu in sixth house in case of Cancer ascendant chart. So what needs to be done? You can't remove Ketu from your sixth house, but what you can do, you can remove the malefic influence of Ketu. This is what comprises the school of astrology. This is what comprises the scope of astrology. In case Jupiter is weak, Mars is weak, Moon is weak, and Sun is weak, it will create mess in the life of the Cancer ascendant native in case Ketu gives affliction in the chart. So these planets need to be strong. So do subscribe the channel necessarily, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming such content based videos. You will enjoy the content because it's concrete, relevant, to the point, and interesting. So if you are receiving the content freely, do subscribe the channel freely. You won't get any, you need not to pay anything for it, isn't it? So share these videos as much as possible to your friends who are interested in knowing many things about astrology, and that will be a nice thing, and you will that will lead to the strength of Jupiter. If you increase knowledge, if you start sharing knowledge, your knowledge increases in turn, and it also strengthens Jupiter in your chart, isn't it? This is another way of strengthening the planet. Now what will happen in case of Leo ascendant chart? So Leo ascendant chart, when Ketu is placed in the 12th, in the sixth house. So far as Leo ascendant chart is concerned, it's one of the amazing charts considered, but Sun should be strong. And in most of the cases, when on practical grounds, if even if Sun is utterly weak, then still Leo is having an ego, isn't it? Because Sun being the mighty planet, a royal planet in the chart, in the solar system, among the 9 planets rather, so it has certain characteristics that are unique. So if Ketu is placed in sixth house, as I said, Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. It won't give anything positive to any native. So if it's placed in malefic houses, it activates the malefic significations of these houses. It activates the negative significations of these houses. So as you know that sixth house is a house of diseases, it is a house of disputes and litigations, it is the house of enemies, it is the house of kidney and intestines as well, it's the house of maternal uncle. These are the major significations of sixth house. Now if Ketu gives affliction, that is more than 50%. If Ketu gives affliction to sixth house, that's more than 50% affliction. It will create problems with respect to the significations of the sixth house. There will be issues with maternal uncle, there will be issues with the disputes and litigations on the person will be involved in the litigation. There will be issues in kidneys and intestines as well. So it will cause serious health problems relating to kidney and intestine, causes loss through theft, cheating, and fire, causes disputes and relating to one's professional and business ventures, causes problems with respect to litigations and law, isn't it? And causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. So these will be the major challenges that the native has to face in case Ketu gives affliction to the sixth house and 10th house, 12th house, and second house. Now if Mercury is strong in the chart, the financial losses will not be to such an extent. If Moon is strong in the chart, the financial the problems with respect to expenses will not be to such an extent. Why? If Mars is utterly strong in the chart also, because Mars is important to be, it's important that Mars should be strong, isn't it? Mars should be strong, then only Ketu that won't create such a mess in the chart. If Mars is also utterly weak in the chart, it will lead to the issues. So if Moon is strong, it will safeguard the significations of 12th house, and if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of the second house. So in such case, the influence of Ketu will be there, although, but what will happen that it is it will uh, uh, not create such a problem, as we say that the problem is pronounced. So if Mercury, in case if Mercury is weak, if Sun is weak, if Moon is also weak, the health of the native will be unstable. He will have instabilities in health. Not only health, he will have financial losses as well. He will have uh, you know dominated expenses. He will have extremely unbearable expenses that he won't be able to bear, isn't it? He will have issues with respect to profession. So these will be the major issues in case Moon is weak in the chart, Sun is weak in the chart, and Mercury is weak in the chart. So these will be the issues. What could be done now? So you can't remove Ketu from sixth house. But what you can do, you can remove the malefic influence of Ketu by doing the remedies for Ketu, isn't it? This is what comprises the scope of astrology. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos, and enjoy this amazing content on Vedic astrology that is up to the mark, that is concrete, that is clear, and that is to the point, isn't it? So do subscribe the channel freely if you are receiving, and you if you are watching the content freely. It's your duty. If it's my right to convey the content to you, it's your duty to subscribe the channel, isn't it? Now let us come to the Virgo. Mars being the most malefic planet for this Virgo ascendant chart, it means that Ketu will create extremely rude problems, extremely destructive problems in case of Virgo ascendant chart, isn't it? In case Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the sixth house, it will lead, it will disturb the significations of sixth house. Now, as I said, that when Ketu is a planet of, Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature, don't expect that it will give something good. No, that's not the case. And when it's placed in the malefic houses, it absorbs and activates the negative significations of these houses. Although sixth house, 8th house, and 12th house, they have positive significations as well. They have positive significations as well. We don't we It's not fair to look at the negative side of these houses. No, they have positive characteristics as well. Now, for example, positive characteristic of eighth house is, what? Longevity. Longevity is the how long life you will have. That is the depicted by the eighth house. So this is the positive characteristic. Simply health. If the sixth house lord is strong, utterly strong, it means that you will enjoy good health, isn't it? So these are the positive characteristics. It's not important that the malefic houses, you have been shown only fair malefic houses. You will die, you will destroy, you will have accidents, these, that. No, this is one side. The other side is that they have positive significations as well. Now if Ketu is placed in this house, it will activate the negative significations of sixth house. Ketu will activate the negative significations of this sixth house. So if the affliction is close, it's more than, if the affliction is more than 50%, what will it do? It will afflict sixth house, it will afflict 10th house, 12th house, and second house. So there will be issues with respect to the significations of the houses aspected. Now if it afflicts sixth house, what will happen? It will cause serious health issues relating to kidney and intestine, causes losses through theft, cheating, and fire, causes disputes relating to one's professional and business ventures, causes problems with law, and causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. So these will be the major problems that the Virgo ascendant native, who usually is disturbed by health and other issues as well, so he has to face these issues. There are proper remedies now that could be done, but these issues will be there. Now if Saturn is utterly weak, there will be issues with respect to large intestine and kidneys. But if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, the kidney health will be normal. If Sun is also weak, if Venus is also weak, if Moon is also weak in the sorry, if Saturn is also strong, if Sun is also strong, and if Venus is also strong in the chart, and Mercury being the ascendant lord should be strong, if all these planets are strong, the effect of the malefic influence of Ketu won't do such a harm in the chart. It will have a moderate effect in the chart, because if sun is strong, it will cover the it will protect the significations of 12th house. If Saturn is strong, it will safeguard the significations of 6th house. If Venus is strong, it will safeguard the significations of 2nd house. So there will be no issues with respect to the significations of these houses. But if in case, if Saturn is utterly weak, if Sun is utterly weak, if Venus is utterly weak, it will create mess in the life of the native. There will be issues with respect to litigations, disputes, conflicts, enemies. There will be issues with respect to health as well. There will be disturbed career life, disturbed professional life. There will be heavy expenses on health, and there will be loss of financial losses. There will be financial losses. There will be loss of status as well in the society. There will be issues with respect to marriage as well. There will be issues with respect to the continuity of progeny as well, progeny lineage, what we call it. So these are the major issues that one has to consider, take into consideration. What could be done? What could be done? So you can't remove Ketu from 6th house, but you can lessen the malefic influence of Ketu by doing the remedies. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Do enjoy content on Vedic astrology. The content practical, concrete, to the point, relevant, nothing like storytelling as you see in most of the podcasters in astrology. As know what they are speaking and what rubbish they are uh, speaking out. Most of the natives, they say it's boring, but actually that is boring, because this there is nothing like this. The way one has to discuss the podcast of astrology, it should be like this. There should be an in-depth study of an astrologer, then to present such things before the natives who are interested in astrology and who need to know more things about astrology, who need to know about planets, houses, and significations of the houses, and the problems to be solved by using remedies in the light of astrology, isn't it? Do subscribe the channel necessarily. If you are enjoying this content freely, do subscribe the channel freely. Now, Libra ascendant chart, Venus should be strong, being the ascendant lord. Now, if Ketu is placed in the 6th house, what will it do? It will create mess. If Ketu gives affliction in the 6th house. Now, as I said, Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything positive out of it. And Mars is a benefic planet for it. There is no, that's a plus point for this ascendant. So Ketu won't create such mess because Mars is benefic planet, but Mars should be strong in the chart. If Mars is weak, utterly weak, it will have serious issues. The affliction of Ketu will have serious issues. Now, as I said, Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. It absorbs and activates the negative significations of malefic houses. So in case of its placement and its affliction in the 6th house, it will activate the negative significations of 6th house. That is, the health of the native will get disturbed. There will be disputes, isn't it? There will be litigations. There will be issues with maternal uncle. There will be issues, enemies will increase. There will be issues with respect to theft, isn't it? Dacoitry. All these issues will be there because it will destroy the significations of. There will be issues with respect to health, that's kidneys and large intestine. There will be issues with respect to career, isn't it? Disputes in the professional life. There will be issues with the heavy expenses on health. There will be issues with respect to the financial losses. These are the major issues that will be there when Ketu is placed in 6th house, and it gives affliction that's more than 50%. And in this case, it becomes a cause of concern. What to do now? It has to be remedied. Ketu needs to be remedied. You can't remove Ketu from 6th house. What you can do, you can remove the malefic influence of Ketu. That is what comprises the scope of astrology. Do subscribe the channel as you are watching it, as you are hearing me, isn't it? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos, because it will be a different and unique content based on concreteness, clarity, and practical approach, isn't it? Now, in case moon is utterly strong in the chart, the issues with respect to career, that will be, that will not be to such an extent. Ketu won't be able to destroy the profession of the native, Libra ascendant native. And in case Mercury is also utterly strong in the chart, there will be no heavy expenses to such an extent. They will be, but if Mercury is strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of the 12th house as well. And if the Venus is utterly strong in the chart, because it's the general significator of second house as well. Sun is also the general significator of second house as well. If these planets are strong in the chart, they will safeguard the significations of the uh, second house. So in such cases, Ketu's influence on the second house, that won't be considerable, that won't be pronounced, isn't it? But Ketu needs to be remedied. You can uh, do remedies, consistent remedies for the malefic influence of Ketu, so it won't create problems then. And that such type of remedy should be a part of life. And it depends, if affliction is 95%, if affliction is 80%, more than 50%, it creates problems in the chart. So these are the major points that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in 6th house in case of Libra ascendant chart. Now Scorpio ascendant chart, one of the charts among the 12 zodiac signs, is where the Ketu gets exaltation. It's the Scorpio. It gets exalted in the Scorpio and debilitated in the Taurus. Now actually, what is the issue is not that of exaltation and debilitation. The issue is that when Ketu gives affliction in the chart, what will happen in case of Scorpio ascendant chart? Now firstly, as I said, that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything positive out of it. It's a blind planet. And what is bitter about this placement is that it absorbs the significations of malefic houses. It activates the negative significations of malefic houses. So in case Ketu is placed in the 6th house and it afflicts its house of placement, it will activate the significations of 6th house, negative significations, not positive, isn't it? So it will create mess in the significations of the 6th house. So there will be issues with respect to litigations. There will be issues with respect to health, that is especially of kidneys and large intestines, of general health as well, rather. There will be issues with the cousins as well, isn't it? There will be issues with the maternal uncle as well. There will be issues with enemies as well. So these are the major issues that are there when Ketu afflicts its house of placement and the affliction is more than 50%. There will be issues and disputes in professional life as well, and business ventures as well. There will be problems of heavy expenses, and there will be a problem of financial losses. So these will be the problems when Ketu afflicts when the houses aspect to 10th house, 12th house, and second house from the 6th house. Now, what could be done if, in case Mars is strong? It will safeguard the significations of 6th house. In case Sun is strong, it will safeguard the significations of 10th house. In case Venus is utterly strong in the chart, it will protect and safeguard the significations of 12th house. In case Jupiter is strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of second house. So in such case, the effect of Ketu won't be to such an extent. It will be moderate effect, uh, or it will be less than moderate. In this case, when the said planets Mars, Sun, Venus and Jupiter, they are utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of these houses. This is the way to go. But in case these planets, that's Mars, Sun, Venus and Jupiter, they are utterly weak in the chart, and Ketu on the other hand gives affliction from the 6th house, there will be mess in the life of the native. And especially when the nakshatra lord, isn't it, when the lagna, when the ascendant rises in a nakshatra of Ketu, in a Ketu nakshatra, that will be a double problem, isn't it? So in such cases, what could be done? Nothing could be done. You can't remove Ketu from 6th house. What you can do, you can do the remedy for Ketu in order to avoid the malefic influence of Ketu. And the planets need to be strengthened, concerned planets, isn't it? Now this is the main thing. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Enjoy these videos based on the clear, concrete and up to the mark content on Vedic astrology. You won't see such content, as assure as it's my challenge, that you won't see such content like this, that I deliver each and every point so clearly that you need to have a clear cut view on your chart, what is the actually position. And if you start wearing cat's eye in this case, it will create mess in your life, definitely. And if Ketu is afflicts its house of placement especially, and These are the main points that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in 6th house in case of Scorpio ascendant chart, isn't it? Now let us move to the Sagittarius ascendant chart. Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter needs to be strong, because ascendant lord being strong, it will mean that the native will be able to face the challenge in life. Now if Ketu is placed in the 6th house, what will it do? As I mentioned, that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything positive out of it. What to expect is nothing. Don't expect positive in case of Ketu, because Ketu is a planet, is a blind planet, is a headless planet, neither able to listen, neither able to see, neither able to talk, isn't it? So these are strange characteristics of this planet. So it is a blind planet. No, when it's blind, it can't. It's a deaf and dumb also, it can't do anything. So never expect anything positive out of it. Especially in malefic houses, what it do, it absorbs and activates the negative significations of the malefic houses, isn't it? So if Ketu is placed in 6th house, it will destroy and it will activate the negative significations of the 6th house. Firstly, it will destroy the significations of 6th house, it will disturb the significations of 6th house, and it will activate the negative significations of the 6th house. No positive signification, isn't it? For example, if benefic planet is placed in the 6th house, it will give benefic influence to the 6th house. But this is a planet of malefic nature, it will give malefic influence to the 6th house, no positive effect to the 6th house. So one needs to be cautious while dealing with Ketu in 6th house, so far as Sagittarius ascendant and every ascendant is concerned. In case Ketu gives affliction that's more than 50%, it becomes a cause of concern for the native. What it do, it leads to serious health issues related to kidney and large intestine. It leads to causes losses through theft, cheating and fire. It leads to disputes relating to one's professional business ventures. It leads to problems with law, litigation, disputes like that. And it causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. So these are the major problems when Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the 6th house. Now if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, if Moon is strong in the chart, and if Venus is strong in the chart, what will happen? These planets will safeguard the significations of 10th, 12th and 2nd house respectively. If Mercury is utterly strong, first of all ascendant should be utterly strong, and if Mercury is strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of 10th house, the house of career, and there will be no disputes and no issues with respect to the professional life of the native. And if Moon is utterly strong in the chart, because Moon is the general significator of the 12th house, the issues with respect to the heavy expenses, that will be quite low. And if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, the issues with respect to the financial losses, that will be quite low, that will be around moderate. The effect will be moderate in such case, but Ketu needs to be remedied. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for all the upcoming videos. Enjoy such content based on concreteness, clarity and practical approach to Vedic astrology. Isn't it? If you are receiving the content freely, do subscribe the channel freely in order to get updated for the upcoming content. That will increase your knowledge, definitely. That will definitely increase your knowledge of Vedic astrology. Now is the Capricorn ascendant chart. In Capricorn ascendant chart, when Ketu is placed in the 10th house, sorry 6th house, what effects it will give? Firstly, we need to understand that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything positive out of it. And the second and bitter point about it is that Ketu absorbs the negative significations of malefic houses. It activates the negative significations of malefic houses. It's nothing like this that it will give positive influence, it will give benefic influence on the malefic houses. No, it's wrong. Ketu is a blind planet, neither listens, neither says anything, neither sees anything, isn't it? A blind planet, one can't expect anything out of it if a planet is of such nature, isn't it? So what happens in that case? Ketu placed in 6th house creates mess when it afflicts its house of placement. When an affliction is more than 50%, it destroys the significations of 6th house in the first instance, and in the second instance it absorbs and it activates the negative significations of the 6th house, and it disturbs the significations of 10th house, 12th house, 2nd house respectively. Now what will you do in case Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the 6th house? It leads to problems relating to kidney and intestines, causes losses through theft, cheating and fire. It causes disputes relating to one's professional and business ventures. It leads to problems with respect to disputes and litigations, and it causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. So these are the major issues that Ketu leads when it's placed in the sixth house, and uh, it afflicts its house of placement, and it will also afflict the planets placed in 10th house, 12th house, second house. If it's placed, if any of the planet is placed in these houses, they may or may not receive affliction from Ketu, so they will also get disturbed. It will happen during the Antardasha of Ketu, especially during the Antardasha of Ketu. These things will happen, isn't it? Now, what to do actually is the remedies Ketu. Do remedies for Ketu. Now, in case Venus is utterly strong, it will safeguard the significations of 10th house. Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of 12th house. Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of second house. So the problems from Ketu of financial losses, that will be quite low, moderate, isn't it? That will be a moderate level in case Saturn is utterly strong in the chart. And this will happen during the Antardasha of Ketu. If Ketu gives affliction in the sixth house, these problems will be there during the Antardasha of Ketu, isn't it? And Ketu, I said that in case Ketu afflicts its house of placement, then only during the Antardasha of Ketu these issues will be there. And in case Venus is utterly weak, Jupiter is utterly weak, Saturn is utterly weak in the chart, the significations of 10th house, 12th house, second house, they will get completely disturbed. There will be nothing normal in the life of the native. Ketu will be destroying everything in the life of the native. So these are the main things that need to be taken into consideration. Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Enjoy the content on Vedic astrology based on concreteness, clarity, and practical approach to Vedic astrology, isn't it? Hit the bell icon and subscribe the channel and share these podcasts as much as possible. Now, Aquarius ascendant chart. In case of Aquarius ascendant chart, Ketu placed in sixth house, what effect it will give? Firstly, that in case of Aquarius ascendant chart, Saturn should be strong, because in every lagna we say that ascendant lord should be strong. Then only the native will be able to face challenges and meet challenges rather in the life. Now, if Ketu is placed in sixth house, what effects it will give? It firstly, we have to know that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. Don't expect anything positive out of it, because it is a planet of malefic nature. Now, if it afflicts its house of placement in the malefic houses, what it does, it generates and it activates the negative significations of the malefic houses. And on the other hand, it destroys the significations of malefic houses as well, and it activates the significations of the malefic houses. This is the problem. Main problem is that what I said, that it activates the negative significations of malefic houses. So if Ketu afflicts its house of placement in the chart, in Aquarius ascendant chart, what will happen? It will lead to serious health issues to kidney and intestine, causes losses through theft. Cheating and fire, causes disputes relating to one's professional business ventures, causes problems with respect to litigations, and causes financial losses and heavy expenses on health. In case moon is utterly strong in the chart, the issues with respect to kidneys and large intestine will not be to some extent. Saturn is also weak, the large intestine issues will not be there, isn't it? In case Venus is utterly strong in the chart, the issues with Venus and Jupiter are strong, the issues with respect to kidneys won't be there, isn't it? Now, if moon is utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of 12th house, because moon is the general significator of 12th house. And if Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, if Venus is utterly strong in the chart, so Venus is the general significator of second house, the financial losses will be moderate effects. The effect of Ketu on the second will be of moderate level in such case. But if all the planets, especially Saturn, is utterly weak, it will lead to the career issues. There will be issues with respect to career, isn't it? There will be disputes in the career, in the professional life of the native of Aquarius ascendant will be disturbed, isn't it? So these are the main points that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in sixth house. What could be done? You can't remove Ketu from sixth house. What you can done? You can remove the malefic influence of Ketu, and that is what comprises the scope of astrology, isn't it? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. You are receiving such content and on astrology, because it's a content based on in-depth study of the Vedic astrology rather, isn't it? So it's for you, for you to increase your knowledge and share with your these podcasts with your friends who are interested in astrology, or interested in astrology gyan, astrology knowledge, information and all that. So these are the main things that need to be taken into consideration. Jupiter should be strong in this chart, in any chart. If Jupiter is utterly strong, only Jupiter. And on the other hand, Jupiter aspects the houses, and it gives favorable aspect to the, in case of, for example, Aquarius ascendant, it gives favorable aspect to the its house of placement, and favorable aspect to the houses aspected. In such cases it is a blessing, isn't it? Now Saturn should also be strong in the chart. You might have seen that this is I'll mention in some other podcast. This is a topic of other issue, of other theme rather, other title. I won't deviate from the topic of Ketu results in different houses. Now these are the major issues that need to be taken into consideration while dealing with Ketu in sixth house in case of Aquarius ascendant chart. Now in case of Pisces ascendant, the last ball of this game in the cabinet of planets rather, where the players or planets, and the the space is the playground, and Jupiter is the guru, and Venus is the champ of sports rather, and you know spectate Ketu and Rahu, they are spectators, isn't it? So it's like that, a playground that has been organized in the space. Now it is a last ascendant. In case of Pisces ascendant, what needs to be taken into consideration is that Ketu, what will be the effect of Ketu and results of Ketu in sixth house. Firstly, we have to understand that Ketu is a planet of general malefic nature. There is nothing like positive. Don't expect anything positive out of Ketu. It will give negative things to every ascendant, especially when Ketu is placed in malefic houses, 6th, 8th and 12th house. In either of the houses, it creates mess. And in case if it afflicts its house of placement, what it does do? Firstly, it destroys the significations of the malefic houses. Now, if Ketu is placed in the 6th house, it afflicts 6th house, and the affliction is more than 50%. What it will do? It destroys the significations of the 6th house, and after that, it activates the negative significations of the 6th house. There will be disputes, there will be litigations, there will be enemies, there will be serious health issues, there will be issues with maternal uncle, there will be issues with respect to career and professional life, there will be issues with respect to the heavy expenses on health, there will be issues with respect to financial losses. These are the major issues that will be there in case Ketu afflicts sixth house, and the houses aspected will get disturbed. So the significations of the houses aspected will get disturbed. But in case Sun is strong, Mars is strong, Jupiter is strong, Saturn is strong, the effect of Ketu won't exceed much, isn't it? Won't be pronounced in the chart. It will be less than moderate, or even low than that, isn't it? But in case Mars is utterly strong, Saturn is utterly strong, and Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, because Sun will cover the significations of the it will protect the significations of sixth house. In such a case, affliction will be there, and all this thing will happen during the Antaradasha of Ketu, isn't it? So if Jupiter is strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of 10th house. If Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, it will safeguard the significations of 11th house, sorry, 12th house. If Mars is utterly strong in the chart, it will cover the significations of the 12th house, sorry, second house, isn't it? So in such cases, what will happen? All the the significations of all these houses, they will get protected if the planets, said planets, are strong. But if any of the planets, if all the planets or any of the planets that's of 10th house, 12th house and second house, they are utterly weak in the chart, the significations of that house, that will get disturbed during Antaradasha of Ketu. There will be issues with respect to the significations of the said plan of the said houses if the house lord is weak, and the native will face these challenges. There is no remedy. Now what is the remedy? Do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos based on such content that's clear, concrete and practical, isn't it, in its approach. So aim is to, have a concreteness, have a concrete hold on Vedic astrology, have a clear cut analysis, to the point analysis, relevant analysis, nothing like storytelling, this that, mysterious, and illusions, mysteries, tales. No, astrology is not a tale, it's a science. And one who is able to understand this science, and the sky will talk to him. If one is able to understand the language of planets, the planets will start speaking to him, talking to him, isn't it? So it's like that. Now, sun should be strong, Jupiter should be strong, Saturn should be strong, Mars should be strong, then only the Ketu, despite the affliction of Ketu, the influence of Ketu in the chart will not be pronounced. So these are all the options, and we have seen uh, Pisces ascendant, Aquarius ascendant, Capricorn, Sagittarius ascendant. We have seen Scorpio ascendant, Libra ascendant, Virgo ascendant, Leo ascendant. After that, we have seen Cancer ascendant, Gemini. In Gemini, one thing I forgot, that Ketu gets debilitated also in the sixth house, so it will create double problem. It will create destructions in case it afflicts its house of placement, because when a malefic planet is debilitated, it creates double problem, isn't it? It creates extremely deadly problems in the life of the native. So this is the major point. We discussed Taurus ascendant with Ketu in sixth house, and we discussed Aries ascendant. So this is all about Ketu in sixth house, and its effects, and what are the remedies, and what will be the effects on other houses as well. So do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Take care. Thank you.